Do you suffer from brain fog?
Welcome to another episode with Jan Fitzpatrick of inVibeHealth.com. Jan, unfortunately, I think I know what this topic is about all too well, but spell it out for folks. What are we talking about now?
Well, if you're familiar with the movie Joe versus the Volcano, it was actually a fake diagnosis, but it does seem very real to a lot of us. Unfocused thinking, the feeling of slogging through the day may be a result of a lack of quality sleep. And when you get the sleep you need, everything seems just a little easier.
Well, I'm looking forward to this topic because I need your help here, Jan. But let's break it down. What specifically are the real takeaways we want to give people in this episode?
Well, first one would be, why do we sleep? What affects the quality of your sleep? And how can you get the kind of sleep you need to wake up refreshed every morning?
Excellent. I'm looking forward to this. So why do we need sleep, Jan?
Well, the reason I got onto this is there are a couple of most recent research papers that came out that said sleep isn't, because I always wondered, why do I have to sleep a third of my life? It seems like I'm wasting my time.
Exactly.
But the more
I've got it down to a quarter of my life. I mean, I shrunk. Maybe that's why I have brain fog. But
yeah, it is actually. It's because sleep is the only time, with some of the organs of our bodies are restored and rejuvenated. The liver is only detoxed at night. It's so busy during the day that it needs like 2 90-minute sections for complete and efficient and effective detoxification. The most recent studies are showing that the brain works so hard every day that the only time that it can clean itself out is at night. So the science, some of the science of it is the cerebral spinal fluid and the circulation. It's all working during the day, and then at night, the spinal fluid just floods the brain, and then all of the built-up toxins from that day go into the solution, and then out, because we don't have a lymph system in our brain.
Yeah, no, I saw that same study. It is fascinating, absolutely, yeah. That part was fascinating, and the other thing is that our body produces more of its growth hormone at night than at any other time, and that's what it uses to repair tissue. So, I mean, that's why getting run down is literally happening if you don't sleep enough, and you can get sick, right? So
absolutely, it's a way of just restoring yourself, renewing yourself every night. I call it renewing, yeah.
Well, and that's why we're talking about, this whole series of getting from, that feeling of exhausted back to that feeling of energized. Well, yeah, it kind of is logical that improving the quantity and quality of your sleep could have a lot to do with clearing some of this brain fog. And as you're saying, it could literally be cleaning out brain fog. Maybe, who knows? We don't have the research that says that debris in the brain is causing the fog. But hey, it's a pretty good story, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
So sleep is important. So what are the things that are going to either improve or not improve the quality of sleep for folks?
Well, everything you do during the day is preparation for the kind of sleep that you're getting at night.
Okay.
So I know that I've woken up in the morning and was so excited to get back to sleep at night, but that's not exactly what I'm meaning. But
isn't that called sleeping in? Yeah. you roll over, you hit snooze, and you continue sleeping.
and actually, that affects the quality of your sleep too. They say that if you just get up when it rings, when your alarm goes off, that is healthier than if you keep hitting the snooze.
I actually like it the best when I wake up before the alarm and don't get woken. I just naturally awaken. Those are when I have the most energy because I'm just waking up right at that spot in the sleep cycle. Whereas the alarm is a little random. I mean, I could be right in the middle of a stage of sleep rather than a wakeful moment, and it's annoying.
Yeah, and I think that if you do that, if you wake up before your alarm, that's your indication that you've had enough sleep. Some of the things that affect you during the day that would affect your sleep at night would be overstimulation, and that could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be caffeine, it could be spicy food. All of those things are stimulating, but you could be overstimulated. Eating late at night. I know that a lot of times we don't get home, but there really should be 3 hours between when we finish dinner and when we attempt to go to sleep. And I don't know. And for women, a big concern for getting a good night's sleep is restricting fluids after 6 o'clock. You can always, if you wake up in the middle of the night and need to go to the bathroom, just look at, did I wake up first and then have to, or did I wake up because I had to?
Right.
And then restricting your fluids will absolutely help you to sleep longer throughout the night.
Well, and another one I was just reading about is, we all have all these little electronic devices all the time now, and there's some interesting research that, looking at a lit screen, too close to bedtime actually energizes your brain. I mean, because it's your brain, of course, evolved, during a time where, sun up and sun down, so you're creating an artificial sun by looking at your iPhone or your iPad or watching TV in bed, and people think it's relaxing, and sure, at some level it is, but it's simultaneously stimulating. So might be a good idea to read a plain old-fashioned book before bed rather than a backlit screen. So
yes, that actually emphasizes the fact that it's that last hour before you go to bed that's really affects you the most.
Absolutely. Sounds good. And that's a good segue into, all right, so what is the secret then? What is the secret if we want to get that kind of sleep that makes you wake up feeling rested and restored? Because let me tell you, I think that's one of the worst feelings is when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I feel just as tired as when I went to bed. I mean, that's not a good feeling.
No, it's not. I mean, I have experienced that a few years ago. I did get into that situation, and maybe that's what got me to look into it a little more closely to find out how I could, wake up refreshed and renewed and restored. But one of the things that happens is that you can get overtired. If you and then try to go to sleep at night, I won't.
I hate that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's okay to take a nap, a 15 to 20 minute power nap. Just close your eyes for 15 to 20 minutes, lay down. Being horizontal is very effective. And get up. Mid to late afternoon is fine. Don't make it, past 6 o'clock. It will affect your sleep at that time. But napping actually will help you catch up at that particular point, take the sleepiness out, and you still will be just fine to go to sleep at your regular time.
And I find even if you don't fall asleep, I mean, if you just literally sit quietly with your eyes closed and you don't even fall asleep for even 20 minutes, actually even 10 minutes, I mean, it is amazing how much of a boost of energy you can get and get going. But that feeling of overtired is one that I definitely resonate with when you say that, because I'll be almost falling asleep and then I'll do something, last minute chores or whatever and kind of there's a point at which you've gone too far and then you can't fall asleep, but you feel really kind of, your brain is literally irritated. It's the best way I can explain it.
Yes.
It's a weird sensation. So napping is okay.
Napping's okay. And also, if you have some things on your mind, like you just described to me, write them down. So now you won't forget them, and you won't be thinking about trying to remember them throughout as you're falling asleep. They're there. They won't move. And you can check them in the morning, so you can get them off your mind. And also, we talked about this a little bit too, is to have that gentle routine about an hour before you go to bed, so that you end up in bed shutting off the lights between 9:30 and 10:30. That's the perfect time. That's when your body is actually
that's unheard of in my household.
To sleep. That's working with your body. That's because you do probably know this.
I don't know if I can do it, Jan. I don't know. I'm going to try. I will.
And then the other thing is to exercise during the day will absolutely help you to sleep better at night.
Right. But exercising too late in the day, I've noticed, definitely kind of, again, it fires up your body too much. Yeah, everyone's got their own unique physiology, but I think in general, if you're a late night workout kind of person, you're probably setting yourself up to have a kind of restless time going to sleep. So
what's that gentle routine? Remember I said gentle.
That's right. It's like winding down, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? If I'm winding down, I'm quieting my mind, I'm calming things down. I love what you're saying about writing things down, because to me, it's almost a ritual. It's almost like taking it out of my head and putting it onto a piece of paper for safekeeping. My head now knows that it can be free of that and come back to it, and I don't have to have that hamster on the wheel, that is kind of turning.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I put them on actually little Post-it notes. So I have Post-it note pads and I have lots of pen at my bedside table because sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with that thought on my mind, and I just write it down and it's gone and I go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, we're doing an entire series here on this whole theme of moving your life from exhausted to energized, and we're about halfway through that. So if you missed the first one, go back and check about feeling overwhelmed and some great tips about that. But you want to make sure you don't miss any upcoming episodes. So in this episode, we've been talking about the importance of sleep. Why do we sleep? What are the effects? What are the things that happen during affect the quality of your sleep, and then what are some of the things you can do to ensure that you get that restful, rejuvenating kind of feeling when you do sleep. So all of this has been really great stuff, and if you want to know what's coming next, here's what you got to do. Right below this video, Jan is giving away a copy of her Amazon.com book to you absolutely free. So all you got to do is click the banner and fill in some information. You get that free, but that also puts you on the notification list for the entire series, and so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes, so that you can move from exhausted to energized. So join us by just clicking on that banner right now, get the copy of the book, and make sure that you don't miss anything else. So Jan, this has been really helpful. I'm going to try and get a much better night's sleep tonight, I promise. And I look forward to our next episode. So until then, I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.